and everyone else how much stress the students actually are facing at university. They're just technically expected to just study and socialize, but that's not actually the case because most people are actually financially struggling, and students have to actually just work to survive in this time right now. It's quite depressing for students as well. And this problem, it's quite daunting actually to actually know that students have to be forced to live like this. Some of them actually don't have actually any time to actually eat or do anything. They're just constantly worried about surviving and just working to pay off their rent and just live at university. And I think that's a really big attainment in itself. And I think that's the most important one for me.
I'm a student with a chronic mental illness, and that affects my ability to focus and be present in a room. I feel that the university is not catered for people like me. I feel my symptoms are viewed as laziness, and this is not the case. To some extent, the DAS service has been a great enabler to my attainment with the DAS specific support plan. However, sometimes instances of my experience with the DAS service has been very underwhelming. Being a service that one has to navigate on your own, and as someone with chronic mental illness who does not feel easily that I can reach out to people for help, it's very, very isolating.
Overall, it feels like your success and well-being at university is your own responsibility. And so many students are expected to just cope by themselves and remain resilient when things go wrong. But as you mentioned out, well, not every student will have the same resources to do so. And yeah, that's why I think we really need to focus on equity when it comes to supporting students, instead of trying to apply the same cookie cutter approach to everyone. And I believe that different students will require individualized advice, support, and accommodations. But to provide that, people really need to listen. So I would say, even though the services that are aiming to support students exist, so many of them just reproduce this dynamic where they are not listening to students. And that's why every time I try to reach out, it's just like listening to a broken record. And the record is definitely not designed for me.
I think for me, most of my responsibilities and obstacles come from outside university. And the main reason being I have external responsibilities. So I have to care for my grandma. So I don't have the privilege to fully commit to my work and spend all days at university or in libraries. That's just not my circumstance. And whilst as a student, I'm entitled to ask for support, I felt really apprehensive to do so. And I think it's the whole feeling of imposter syndrome that like I'm not good enough to be here, even though of course I know I am, but it's accepting that. And that's something that throughout my 3 years at university, I'm still coming to terms with. Additionally, not seeing myself represented in the academic world has been quite difficult to overcome. So all my lecturers are from a white background. I've never been taught by someone that isn't from a white background. And I think for me, it's been a bit disheartening because it's maybe something I'd like to pursue, but when you don't see yourself somewhere, it's like it clouds that vision. So that's been something that's been difficult for me to deal with. But I guess in a sense, another positive factor of that is that I'm one of those people, if I don't see myself represented, I will push my way in and make sure that there's space for me. But I know, of course, not everyone's like that.